Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? Once again, I'm Ned from Nav's Tech Bits, otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. I'm not used to these practical things, but we're gonna get in on it and give it a good old solid try. That's right, friends. Popular Mechanics, November 1983, back in the day when things were a little bit more black and white and we could repair the electronics that we had, not just replace them. Anyways, let's take a second and appreciate the retrofuturism image of, man, that artist is so good. I gotta say, I can't say enough about the retrofuturism. Whoever does this, I think it's multiple artists, but holy crow, they just keep getting better. And I know a little bit about artistic theory. Like, I got a lot of hippie friends that are really good at art, but I have never seen anyone right in front of me do a picture that freaking good. I gotta look up how they do it. The California Bullet Train at 165 freedom units per minute. I mean hour. On both pages, we have wonderful situations where you can end your marriage early. My folks almost broke up over wallpaper. And we all know what whiskey has done. Straight up, legit question from men to men. Do these men exist anymore? I mean, they get the pipe. My dad likes to pull the pipe out every now and then, but usually, like, when he does it, he's out back. And I just don't see guys like this that actually look like they've been on a fisherman's boat and come back in. Maybe I gotta get out to Newfoundland and New England more often. Yes, that's right. You can use women to sell me anything. I will never have a problem with being objectified that way. You can objectify me with all those pictures of women. Just go fishing, thirst traps, that's fine with me. But I'll never get too used to a woman being that close to a bladed motor. I mean, it's one thing if it's a lawnmower, but hacksaw Reynolds quarterbacks for breakfast. I didn't know you're allowed to swing that way that early. So yeah, as I said in previous videos, I'm a computer guy. Feel free to bust my balls when I act like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this practical shit. Paul Mall, step ahead, because the women love the low tar. That's right, you get the low tar cigarette and the women will love you forever. Yeah, remember this old scam? Oh, not really a scam, but... oh man, I got pulled into one of these recently. Amazon is like, hey, this is a free audiobook. I signed up for it. Oh, it was Audible. Now I have a question for anyone watching that might have the answer. What year did they actually start putting this stuff on the side of channel locks and stuff? Because as I go around and find older and older magazines, I find somewhere in the... It seemed to be somewhere in the late 50s they started putting these soft aerators on the end of side cutters and whatnot. Also, I feel like I completely skipped out on this part about being a tech. With a Heathkit, you could just build anything. They'd send you stuff and you would build it or repair it, or that never happened with me. And I feel like that I missed something, because you just got, like, you can't learn how to repair an engine without an engine in front of you. Like, eventually you gotta get a bad lawnmower engine and just do the best frickin' thing you can with it, right? Leaders have taste. I don't believe that. Okay, so when it comes to the video games, I know the leaders, and then you get support, and then you get these guys that are just like mavericks that do whatever they want. And the leaders, they don't have taste, but they have class. Legit, though, I think what a real leader does have is understand of nuance, more or less, in crazy situations, and an affirmative head. Anyways, computer chess. I had one of these. Someone legitimately, about 10 years ago, I just opened my front door and there it was. It didn't have any of the pieces, it was just the unit. But, oh, I wanted to take it apart so bad, and I did. So chess is one of the earliest interactions that the average world seemed to have with electronics, where we were comfortable with them, we were kind of playing with them. And we've gotten past that. And it's interesting that any new iPhone has the ability to beat any chess master ever. Holy frick, check this out. This is an old EKG on your wrist. I really wish they'd flip the damn thing over and show us what the sensors look like, because I've seen a lot of EKG that don't actually have a sensor. They just I don't know how they figure it out. The older popular mechanics you get, the more you find out about what's actually in your tire. And also, you get more and more and more mundane contraptions. It just helps you out around the house with little things that are so frickin' mundane. Oh, check it out, guys. I found a timing gun. I keep calling it a timing light. Timing gun. No, wait. What is it? All I know is that it looks like something you could blow RoboCop away with. I love it. Well, I do know one thing. That's where the explosions happen. And that's frickin' awesome. You get an explosion in your car to make it go forward. Oh, those Chinese balls actually made it in. And they actually help arthritis pain. Oh, check out this fancy phone. Oh, shoot, you know what does make it interesting? The LED display. I haven't seen one like that on phones before. Nice. Tomorrow's Shifty Dog Fighters. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with these ones much at all. Oh, they're Swedish. They're European. No wonder. The only ladies I tend to admire are the Americans. I mean, these are nice, but it's not stealth. I feel so underwhelmed. Someone put a stealth fighter on here. Come on, come on. So you'll notice that the 80s popular mechanics are definitely a lot bigger, newsstandish, where the older ones were smaller, but I just realized the art that they managed to be able to put into the newer issues. Things like this. Dude, I gotta pause. I don't ever get into popular mechanics for the art, but as someone who has loved artists, male and female, and just, sometimes just hanging out with the guys as they do their art and you see them do their thing and you have no idea how they're doing that or how they're doing that. And then all of a sudden they whoosh, and then you see it. And then they just bring it together and it's wonderful. And this is one of those things I'm trying to think where would they have started? It's wonderful. The art is wonderful. It's so interesting how we made such a big deal about having CD players and now it's a throwaway thing. We have so much stuff. We have so very much stuff that if someone was to break into your house, they probably wouldn't even take your PC anymore. Like, they might grab your laptop. They'd definitely be going off your cell phones. But back in the 80s, if someone broke into your house, they're like, okay, let's go get the CD player. Like, let's get all the electronics. Like, the TV would have been worth something. But today, it's just not quite the same. Of course, since this is the 80s, you get that Transformers kind of blue and red grid on the background, making everything seem super futuristic and in some kind of 80s magical destination that we all want to go to where we can enjoy CDs. I'll never forgive PlayStation or Sony for making the original PlayStation a CD system that had a worm screw gear that would move the laser lens up and down, but that gear was made of plastic. And of course, people play video games like as a marathon thing. They don't always have air conditioning, so that thing wore out. And because of that, you had to stand it up on its side before it would play again. And I'm wondering if that has anything to do with these ones being standing units. All right, so here's the idea of the train. It looks like they wanted it to go from Los Angeles to the LAX airport all the way down to San Diego. That's a very nice retrofuturism piece of art, but let's face it, it's like they phoned it in compared to what's going on in the front. I wonder why they never got this going. Is it possibly because America has two distinctly different types of people? People who take the bus and then people who can afford to have a car. It seems like only certain societies have the ability to sustain such an expensive piece of machinery going back and forth and not getting messed with. Let's face it, could you have a bullet train that was disrespected the same way as like Ottawa or Transit or TTC, Toronto Transit was? Like, at some point, if you didn't keep that thing really good, if you were taking that thing through places that had a lot of mental health issues, that could be a danger. Here everyone's talking about the shed you could have and all the awesome things you could have, but geez, these days, man, nobody has this much space, and if they do, they're using it for living space. Unless you're in America, then it's coming your way. Now, when I open pages like this, my heart just stops and I fall in love. More and more, it seems like we're having situations where corporations and whatnot are taking away people's ability to build their own things or repair their own things. And here, It's everything. You just go up to the lumber store and you get the stuff, and it has all the talking and the bits and whatnot. And hey, if you don't know the answer, maybe your buddy might know. You know what I mean? It just kind of seems like we're getting away from this kind of stuff. I'm not even sure what we're going to, but we're getting away from this. And in this page is something artistic and beautiful and remarkable. Wait, what? That's a jig? That's okay. Okay, I'm learning. So Buddy made this so that he could have a tool to be moving stuff in and out of. Huh. Huh. Okay, I need to change my pants. I just went over to the other page and it tells you exactly how to make it. Life seems to have been a lot better back in the day. Fox fits under your visor and into your budget. That's interesting. It's like it's okay to have advertisements where you're circumventing the law by speeding, but it would not be okay to have an advertisement for like fake urine in here, right? So you could pass your drug test, so you could smoke some weed. It's interesting where those parallels are. Legitimately, I think I'd fear more for the safety of society with people who are using radars than I would for people who wanted to smoke weed. Now imagine some dingus who's been smoking and has the anti-radar thing. Probably the thing goes off, the anti-radar goes off, and the stoner would floor it, being so paranoid. Ugh. So this is the Hero 1. I keep seeing him being advertised in different places because you can program him to do lots of fun things. Like get your homies off with this little tool. Check it out. It's a wood pile. Sorry, somebody said that to me and it just kind of struck me. A grandfather clock. I have so much respect in things like that, but a wood pile. I remember in the Kitchener Tech Center, there was a group that had taken a car just like this, taken it apart, two of them, and welded two fronts and two bottoms together. The two fronts could run together, interestingly enough. Today I learned you could get add-ons for your VCR to make it look better. Man, VCR stuff looked like such garbage we didn't even know about it. Two interesting pieces of technology. The Sensophone, thing you could buy and use to listen in to anything. Probably not your spouse. The world's greatest performance cars, put onto little pieces of gold and sold to you at a giant price. They did something like this with airlines on silver. Huh. Why don't they ever put a man's ass in these pants? I mean, this is like Hank Hill. This guy has no glutes whatsoever. Are you afraid you're going to turn everyone gay or something by giving them real asses? Oh, the mauler. Man, you know you're dealing with a real farm boy when they break one of those things out. Jeez. Calculator watch, only $10, legitimately. That is a really good price for the time. I mean, they're really pushing it here. What does lucky have to do with, I mean, all right, okay. I've got to say, I think this is the most detailed and most impressive piece of retrofuturism I have seen on the cover of one of these. Wonderful. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's it from me, Nev from Nev's Tack Bits. Like and subscribe if you like this stuff. More importantly, bust my balls if I got something wrong in here, if you feel like you can educate me. Yeah, that's fine. Let's talk shop, man. I'm fine with that. It's always fun to learn. Have a good one, folks. Take care of each other.